Hi Stampers, welcome back to another video tutorial here at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. Today I wanted to show you how I made this cute little thankful for little purse bag. I'm making these for my family members, and then on the inside when they open them, in all of these little pockets there's little message cards in there, and I'm going to put just a few things that I'm really grateful that they do for me, or you know, things that I'm thankful for with them. So here's one that I made. This is the one that we're going to be making today. Now here is another version of one that I did. It's a little bit larger because it's using different bags, and it has more things on the inside in it, and I used the brown lunch paper bags with this one, and to be honest, I like it, but it didn't turn out quite the way that I wanted to. It doesn't sit up nice and pretty. It just kind of, and this was the very first one that I ever made, so I was just kind of winging it and, you know, trying to figure out what I could do with it. But then I came up with this one, and this one sits up really nice, and so I think I finally got it down to a science. So this is the one that we're going to be making today. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what we're going to do is we're going to make the outside of our box, the little handles, or the little, you know, front part right here in the handles. So what we're going to need for that is we're going to need a piece of coaster board. Now this is new to Stampin' Up! This year, and I absolutely love it. It's thicker than cardstock, but it's a little bit thinner than chipboard, so it's really easy to cut on your trimmer. And when you get the coaster board, it comes in a pack like this. I mean, you can see all my little extras right there, but it comes in long sheets that are this long, and you get 8 of these sheets in a pack, and they are absolutely wonderful. I love them. So for your coaster board today for this project, you're going to need 2 pieces, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. So 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then you're also going to need a piece of DSP, and I'm using the Sweater Weather DSP today, and this is also cut at 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. So what we need to do first is we need to figure out where our holes need to be for our handle. So I'm going to grab my little piercing mat here and my piercing tool, a ruler, and a pencil. Now what I do to make sure that my holes are straight is I go ahead and measure 3/4 of an inch down on both sides, just like this. Then I line up those 2 hole marks right there, and then I'm going to make a mark at 1 inch and 4 1/4 inch, just like that. Now I'm going to take my DSP and I'm going to put it behind my coaster board and lay it down on my mat. Take my paper piercing tool, and I'm going to put a hole right at that 1 inch mark and the 4 1/4 mark. So now I have my holes on my DSP and on my coaster board. So I'm going to set my DSP aside, and I'm going to get some of the black taffeta ribbon, and I'm going to cut this about 8 inches long. It doesn't have to be exactly 8 inches. I just find that that works best for me. So 8 inches long, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to position it kind of where I think that I want it. And then I'm going to punch that hole that's in my coaster board into my ribbon. And I'm sure that there are easier ways to do this, but this is just what I found works best for me, because then I can kind of just see where I'm positioning it and trying to make sure that it's as even as possible. So that's what we have. Next, we need to take our DSP, we can get rid of this now, and snail up the back of it. And using snail for this part of the project is fine. The rest of the project, though, we are going to be using some red sticky. So, alright, and then we're going to put this down even and put it down just like that. So now our DSP holes will still match our coaster board holes, just like that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm using the antique brads today. I absolutely love these. And I'm just going to find 2 that match. That looks good. And I'm going to poke one through my ribbon here. To me, I don't know why, this is the longest part of the, oh, that one went pretty easy. Sometimes the brads don't want to fit through that little hole right there. So I'm just going to push it through right there, and then I'm going to push it through the holes that I made on my DSP and my coaster board. And then flatten out the backs like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Push this through here, just like that, and then put it through my coaster board. Just like that. Now with this one, as you can tell, I don't have any tails right there, which is good. I like no tails. With this one, I used the bigger one and I still had some tails, but that's okay. I think it looks okay still. But this one I don't, so that one looks even better. And I went ahead and did the backing part already. I did the same thing, and now with this backing one, because I used smaller brads, I do have a few tails there, but that's okay. Okay, so there is the outsides of our little bag. Cute and pretty simple. So now the next thing that we're going to need to do is we need some paper bags. Now I bought these at just my local store, and they're the white paper bags, and I believe they measure 11 by 5. So they're 11 by 5. What we need to do though is we only want this bottom part of the bag. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer real fast. And now I have found while doing these that not all of these flaps right here are the same measure down. Some are folded crooked, some are, you know, folded a little bit more. So what I do is I just cut right along that edge right there, not on the flap, just right along the edge. And I found that it's about 3 1/4 way down to make sure that you just miss that little ledge. So once we cut, it looks like this. So I'm going to do another one here. So put this just kind of knowing 3 1/4, but making sure that I look at this flap right here, and then cutting, and then that gives me my little pocket. So we're going to put this aside. Now when you get done cutting your paper bag, you're going to notice that you have your opening right here, but then you have this little extra flap. So we're just going to take our snail, and we're just going to snail this up and fold it down. Just like that, because we only want or only need that one little pouch right there. So we're going to do the same thing to all of our bags. Now I went ahead and redid the rest of my bags, and for this project I did 5 bags. So I did them all the same way, snailing down all the little extra flaps here. So now the next thing that we need is a piece of cardstock. I'm using the Whisper White, and this is cut at 5 by 6. I went ahead and took my score tool and I scored every 1/2 inch. So starting at 1/2, then 1, then 1 1/2, and so on and so forth until my whole board or my whole piece of paper was cut here. Now if you wanted to make this longer, you could by all means. That just means that you're going to be able to get more bags into the little grooves here. So for a 5 by 6 sheet right here, that's going to hold 5 bags. So you're going to get 5 little pouches. So once I had that all done, I just went ahead and accordion folded it all to give me those nice little mountain and valleys there. Just like that. And then I went ahead and on my edges right here, I put red sticky. And that's what's essentially going to hold our bag or our coaster board into place. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. So now what we need to do for our bags is we need to take our first bag here, and we need to take our red sticky, or we could use snail. You can use snail for this if you want, and for the video I'm actually going to use snail. So what we're going to do is we're just going to snail right in these grooves on both sides. So you want to get it good and good and sticky. Now we're going to take our paper bag, and I don't know why, but I always have the flat piece facing towards me instead of all this. I don't know why. Maybe it's part of my OCD kicking in. I don't know. So then we're just going to line the bottom of our bag up right here with that score line right at the bottom of our little mountain and valley. Fold this up and fold it right onto our bag. See, so then it stands up like that. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this again right on our grooves right there. Now on this one, we're going to go ahead and snail the back of this bag too, and that's going to help us keep it into place and give it a little bit more, you know, support. So again, I'm going to put my bag in the groove right there, just like that. Then I'm going to fold down and fold up, or press down and then fold up. So see, now my bags are stuck together, so I just have my pouches. So we're going to go ahead and do this for all the rest of the bags. Place it in the groove, just like that. Stick down, fold up, just like that. And then do it with this one. Put it in the groove. Press down, fold up, and then we just have one more bag. So now if your accordion, like I said earlier, was longer, you would just keep doing this and doing this until all of your bags are in your little mountain and valleys. And there we go. And then press up on this one. Perfect. Now I'm just going to take my bone folder here and I'm just going to give this a nice press on both sides just to make sure that it's good and stuck. There we go. So now here are all our little pouches. How cute. Oh, I must have not put sticky on that one. Let's go ahead and put some snail on this one here. Well, maybe that's why I didn't, because I ran out of snail. Okay. Well, I'll fix that later. So now what we need to do is we need to take our little front and back that we did here, and we're going to put our red sticky right at the bottom of this. Now I would suggest putting some snail right here, but because I'm out, I'm just going to grab this little tape runner here. So let me fix this too while I'm at it. And that's not working. But you get the idea. So then we'd stick it down. There we go. Okay. So now we have all of our flaps. So now we're going to take this red sticky off right here. We're going to set our bag up, or lay it down, whatever's easier for you. And we're going to put this right at the bottom here. Just making sure that it's even and straight. There we go. Just like that. And then again, I would put sticky right here, but see, this is just ripping my paper. That's no good. So anyway, I'll fix that later. But that's what you would do right there. And then you would do the same thing right here at the bottom. And I like to do it like this because then I can see this edge right here and line it up with the bottom of my coaster board. And then line it up just like that. So cute. And then, you know, you can work with it, and once you start using it more, it'll get, and then how cute is that? And then once these are stuck on there, obviously it'll hold just a little bit more, but then it sits up all nice and cute like that. How adorable. Now for my insides here, what I did was I just took 2 pieces of DSP. With this one I used the Early Espresso and the Very Vanilla, And then the outside piece is cut at 4 3/4 by 3. And then the top layer is cut at 4 1/2 by 2 3/4. And then they just go ahead and fit right in your pockets like this. And then you could put little tabs on them if you wanted, like I did on this one, so they're easier to pull out. And then that is it, my friends. That is how you make this little paper bag coaster board purse. How cute is that? Well, I hope you learned something new today and enjoyed today's video tutorial. Until next time, happy inkin!